So what I want to do is I want to make this as normal as a normal listing presentation. The only thing that I've told Erin is that she's for sale by owner. I haven't seen her property or haven't met her ever. And so I'm going to call her, set an appointment, go through the process of pre-qualifying it, and then we will actually sit down and do a listing presentation. And so for the first part of it, I'm going to call Erin. However, I can't look at you when I do this. And so I got to pretend like I'm on the phone. Okay, so, and Erin, I want you to, it's like AI now, I'm going to tell her how to, I don't want you to be just a yes, yes, yes person.
Right.
You know, and I want you to give me
a couple objectives
and be realistic about it.
Right. Okay.
You know, let's not.
Just don't keep grind you.
Well, that's okay. Be realistic about. You know, I want $10 million for my property. You know,
right. No. Right.
And so let's pretend like, you know, you're actually going to be selling your property.
Right. I kind of already had a thing as to what I was going to like a couple of
so
to get over.
okay, so I'm going to call Erin now. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, Erin.
Yes.
Hi, Erin. This is David Norberg calling with Keller Williams Realty, and I noticed that you had your home for sale. I've been helping buyers and sellers with their real estate over the last 35 years, and I was just calling to see how I could help you.
Wow, 35 years is a long time. I don't know. I have my house for sale by myself.
I understand that, and I was just calling to see if there was any way I could help you out.
I'm not sure. Is there?
Well, if you sold the home, where were you planning on moving?
Oh, I think I might move to Arizona.
You might move to Arizona?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure yet.
I see. What's bringing you to Arizona?
I don't know. It's a lot of, my friends live there. It's kind of like the snowbird place to go. I thought it'd be a good place to get in the sun.
And which area of Arizona are you thinking of?
Scottsdale.
Scottsdale, great.
Yes.
That's a beautiful city, that's for sure. Yeah,
I like the metropolitan lifestyle.
Yeah. And ideally, how soon would you like to be there?
Oh, probably within the next 60 days.
60 days, fantastic. And how would you rate your motivation to actually sell this property on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, I'm a 10.
A 10?
Yeah.
Fantastic. And other than the ad I saw here on Facebook, what other methods are you using to sell your home?
Well, I have a paper sign in my window at the house.
So you have a sign, terrific. And are you getting any response from the sign or from the ad?
I've had a couple calls, but nothing serious.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how much are you asking for your property?
$600,000.
$600,000.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you determine the sales price?
Well, I was looking on Zillow and I was looking on a couple websites, and then my neighbor 2.5 years ago sold their place for $600, and we have the same model match, so that's kind of where I pulled it from.
Okay, and so it sounds like you did some research and you know what your neighbors sold for, and you've done some other research. Good for you. And are you prepared to adjust your price down when working with a buyer if necessary?
Ooh, I don't know about that. I thought the reason I would sell it by myself was so that I could get the most out of it.
Okay, so would there be any flexibility in your price at this time, do you think?
There could be,
okay.
If I could get it sold quick.
And so if you could get it to sell quickly, you would take that into consideration?
Yeah, I would do that.
And just out of curiosity, why did you decide to try and sell it yourself rather than list with a real estate agent like myself?
I just, I think the market's hot enough that if I put it up, I could save the realtor fees, that I could sell it myself.
So sounds like you're a red-blooded all-American like everybody else, where you'd like to save as much money as possible. Is that what I hear you saying?
I like to make as much money as possible.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh. And if you were to list, Erin, which agent do you think you'd list with?
Well, I don't know. I'm not working with anyone. I don't have anyone specific that's top of mind.
Okay, nobody in mind at this time. And just out of curiosity, if you were to list, what would you expect the agent to do to actually sell your property?
Everything.
Okay, and what does everything mean?
You know, I don't know what realtors do, but I would expect it to be on all the websites, to market it, to do open houses, to get it in contract within, 3 weeks if possible. Sell the house.
Okay, great. And how much time will you take before you'd even consider interviewing the right agent for the job of selling your home?
I mean, I would take an interview with someone.
Okay.
Doesn't mean I'm going to work with them, but I could see what they have to offer.
Okay, great. And what would have to happen before you'd even consider hiring a powerful agent like myself for the job of selling your home?
I don't know. I haven't really interviewed with anybody. I just figured I could get top dollar myself. So I just kind of wanted to put it on the market myself to see what I could do.
Okay.
So.
And are you familiar with the techniques that I use to sell so many homes here in the area?
I have no idea what your technique is.
Oh, you're kidding me. Well, when would be the best time to show you? I have an opportunity to meet with you Monday at 2, or would Wednesday at 4 be better?
Oh, no, Monday I have a gym at 2, and then Wednesday I got to pick up my kids.
Okay. And so would Tuesday at 4 or Thursday at 2 be better?
I could probably do Tuesday.
Tuesday at 4 o'clock or 2 o'clock?
Yeah, but I only have like 30 minutes.
Perfect. That's really all the time that I would need. So if we plan next Tuesday at 4 o'clock, and just so that I can be of most value to you when we do meet, a couple questions I'd like to ask you. First of all, Aaron, if what I said makes sense, and if you felt comfortable and confident that I could sell your home and get you to Arizona in a timely fashion, would you consider listing your home with me when I come over on Tuesday?
Yeah, I would consider it.
Okay. And are you planning on interviewing more than one agent for the job of selling your home?
Oh, that's a great question. I haven't interviewed anyone, so I don't know. Maybe after you, I might reach out to a couple other people.
Okay. And if you were to reach out, anybody in mind that you would consider?
My girlfriend has a realtor friend that I might ask for her information.
Okay. And you don't happen to know who that friend of your girlfriend's is?
No, I don't have any relationships with any realtors.
And so you're moving to Arizona, specifically, and you said you'd like to be there in 60 days. Why 60 days?
Well, it's going to start snowing here pretty soon, so I kind of want to get out of the area before winter hits.
Okay.
So.
Like to get out of Dodge before the snowflakes get too big. Is that what I hear you saying?
100%.
Great. And so, Aaron, when I see you, how much are you thinking that you wanted to list your home for?
I'd probably want to stick with the $600,000.
Okay. And of course, as a professional real estate agent, I've been studying homes and prices every day for the last 35 years. So I assume you would list your home with me at a price that would cause it to sell, correct?
I would consider it.
Okay.
I mean, I would like, some data to verify what price point, and I'm not going to reduce it, $100,000.
Okay. And so what price won't you go below?
I won't go below $590.
$590, okay. And how much do you owe on the property at this time?
Like $200.
Okay. And is that all made up of a first, or do you have a HELOC or a second or anything else?
Well, no, it's all a first. I do have a HELOC on it, but I don't use it. So It's just there for emergency reasons.
And would you help finance any part of the financing for the next buyer, or would you want me to get all the money out for you?
Yeah, no, I don't want to be responsible for anybody else's payment. So I would want you to do what you do and get me all my money.
I'll make sure that we make arrangements to make sure you get all your cash out.
I like that.
And so looking here at the tax rolls, it says that you have a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath with a 2-car garage. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And anything I should know about your home specifically that might hinder or add value to your property?
Yeah, so the way our complex is laid out, I'm on the back of the wetlands, so I have an open view.
Okay.
And those lot premiums are a lot higher, and the ones that are on the back, they sell for a lot more than the ones on the inside because we have a bigger backyard and no obstruction.
Okay. And how much extra value does that add to the property?
Oh, I'd say probably 20 or 30, depending on the lot size.
Okay. Perfect. And Aaron, what I'd like to do is send over a little information about maybe before we do meet. What's the best email to, if I was going to email you some information?
It's Aaron@yourenvyhomes.com.
Great.
I was going to say that.
Any particular questions you might have before I arrive?
Yeah, what's like, so let's say I do decide to list my house with you, what's my obligation to you? How much of my money are you going to take out of my listing?
Well, my goal is not to take any money out of your listing. My goal is to net you more money than you can if you were doing it yourself. And naturally, when we get together, I'll be going over an exact net sheet with you so that you'll have a breakdown of all the different costs. Any other questions you might have?
How long is it going to take you to get it listed so people can start seeing it?
Well, if we met on Tuesday, we could have that within a day or two on the market real easily.
Wow, that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Yep. Any other questions you might have?
Nope.
Okay, just so you know, Aaron, when we do meet, our meeting shouldn't take but 15 to 30 minutes, including all the paperwork, unless, of course, you had some other questions.
Well, don't you need to look at my house and have coffee and hang out for a minute?
Yeah, naturally, we would, I'll be taking a thorough look of your home. And then, Aaron, if you'd do me a favor, if you'd have a copy of your mortgage statement there so we can take a look at that, make sure there's no surprises. And then also, if you'd have an extra key for the lockbox, that would be very helpful as well.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Okay, I look forward to seeing you then Tuesday at 4 o'clock.
Sounds good. See you then.
All right?
Okay, bye. Okay, hold on. Gotta take.
The microphone's on.
Your question, oh, shoot. The questions were right on. Dave's questions.
Was I too easy? Hi, Dave.
I really appreciate it. Would it be all right if I looked around?
Yeah, absolutely. You want me to show you, or you want to just go ahead?
If you do me a favor, if you get me a glass of water or water before we met, that would be helpful. And then if it'd be all right if we sat here at the kitchen table?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go do that. Take
Okay.
a look around.
All right, so then I look around.
Okay. I'll get the water. There you go, sir.
Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Before we get started, what I'd like to do is just make sure that I have everything here before we get started.
Okay.
Here's the questions that we need for today. Here's the comps that I have. Here's the actual listing agreement. And then here's an extra pin for you.
Oh, how nice. Thank you.
Okay, I think I have everything. So, Aaron, before we get started, first question I always like to ask everybody is, any questions you've always wanted to ask a realtor but never dared and never had the opportunity?
Nope. This is the first time I've sold a house, so this is all new to me.
Well, that's great. That's great. Well, I wrote down 3 real important questions for you, Aaron. First of all, in order for you to move to Scottsdale, is it absolutely necessary that you sell this property?
Yes.
Okay, great. And are you willing to price it so it will sell, or did you want it to stay on the market a long time?
Well, I don't want it to stay on the market a long time. So,
Okay.
I mean, I'd like to to get rid of it, but I don't want to give it away either.
Of course, and if you were, I'd take it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's nice of you.
But seriously, the reason I asked that question, you're not expecting to get more than what it's worth, nor
no.
am I thinking I'm going to sell it for less than what it's worth. Our goal is to sell it at fair market value.
Well, that sounds reasonable.
Okay. Third question I wrote down is, do you want me to handle the sale for you?
Well, I don't know. I want to see what you have to offer first.
Okay, well, I'll have to put on my good selling shoes then. right?
Okay.
All right, great. So Aaron, at the end of my presentation today, one of three things will happen. First of all, you'll have the opportunity to go ahead and list your home with me. Or second, you'll decide not to list your home with me. Or third, I'll decide not to take your listing, and anyone is fine with me.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds fair.
So let's quickly review the questions that I asked you over the telephone.
Okay.
Let's see, you're moving to Scottsdale,
That's the plan.
and you wanted to be there, you said, within 60 days.
I need to beat that snow.
And are you thinking you wanted to be moved in 60 days, or are you thinking that you wanted to have it in escrow within 60 days?
I mean, I'm flexible, but I mean, I want to have it at least in escrow and like on my way, out the door to Arizona.
And if we put your home on the market and it's sold in the first week, would that create a problem for you?
No, that'd be wonderful.
And what happens if we put your home on the market and it was now 90 days later it wasn't sold?
Then I'd ask why I hired a realtor.
So, in other words, we need to make sure we work out a game plan, because you don't want to be on the market for 90 days.
Absolutely not. No.
You want to sell.
Is that the average? What's the average time on market these days?
I'm going to cover that in a second for you. Okay, I've got all the comps and we'll show that.
Okay.
All right.
That sounds fair.
And you said you were thinking about a price of $600,000. Now, what's the real price of your off camera? What's the real price of your properties?
$585.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so $585.
I try not to be too extreme. But.
Yeah. Okay. And you said you owed about $200,000. Did you have the?
I did.
Okay.
Here you go. Here's my mortgage statement for you.
Okay, very good. And it looks like actually it looks like you owe like $195.
Oh, that's great.
So $5,000 bonus.
Hey.
Yeah. And it looks like your house payments are about $1,600, right?
Yep.
And if you notice here, of that $1,600, 1,000 of it is going to interest, and 600 is going to principal.
What a ripoff.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for bringing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so, Aaron, when we're looking at selling homes, there's only two issues that we really have to look at today. One is your motivation to actually sell this home, and two is the price that we put on it. Those are the only two issues that ever determine whether any home ever sells. And it doesn't make any difference whether it's a tear down or a multi-million-dollar mansion or a beautiful condo like you have here. Your motivation to sell it and the price are the only two determining factors. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being low and 10 being high, how motivated are you to actually sell it?
Well, I'm pretty motivated because I don't want to spend another winter in Reno with the cold weather.
And so pretty means?
I'd say 9, 10.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Perfect. Okay, so you passed the first test.
Oh, yes.
So the motivation is right. And so as long now, Aaron, as we price it properly, your home should sell in a timely manner.
Okay.
So, and the key part is that you're going to have to decide today, Aaron, where you're going to spend your time. Meaning, there's two parts to the research I'm going to show you. Part one is what we call fantasy land. That's what homeowners list their home for, hoping that it sells. And part two is what we call reality. That's where professional real estate agents like myself actually list and sell homes for. And so today we're going to have to decide whether you want to be in fantasy land or in the real world.
Well, I think my price at 600 was pretty realistic because my neighbor 2 years ago sold theirs for 600 and it was the same model match. So
Okay.
I think that's a pretty fair,
Okay.
reasonable price.
Okay. And again, it shows that you're the only one on title, right?
Yes, yes.
And it said that when you purchased it, it looks like you paid like $321,000 for it.
I did, yeah.
Uh-huh. 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,654 square feet with and it's a 2-story, obviously, and then you have your garage, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. So again, do you know how how buyers determine what they're willing to pay for a property?
I know when I got my condo, it's what I could afford to with the lender.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't, or unless you have all these California people coming over buying homes cash, so.
Yeah, and even when the California people come over with cash, they're still looking at homes and they're only willing to pay fair market value. And so what they do is they look at the features and benefits of your home and they compare them to the features and benefits of other homes that have actually sold to come up with what they figure is a fair price. So let's look at these together, okay?
Okay.
And so what I did is I took
I don't have my glasses.
I took 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a 2-car garage, up to 1,800 square feet in this area.
And what is this area?
In this,
Complex?
All
or
in
is
this-
it all of South Reno?
it's in this zip code,
Okay.
okay? And so when I looked at that, currently you have competition of 4 other, if somebody came from California or any other place and they said, hey, I want a 3-bedroom, 2-bath condo and I want a garage, and I don't need more than 1,800 square feet, you can see they have 4 choices. Now, these aren't necessarily all comparable to yours. There's just 4 options like that, okay?
Okay, okay. Yeah, because in my complex, there's 2 different sections. There's a newer development, and then there's ones that were built in like 2007.
Right,
And those ones aren't as valuable as mine.
yep, okay?
So,
And so you'll notice,
but are these condos?
yes,
They're, okay,
yep, yeah. When I asked the MLS, these are all condos. They're not single-family homes at all.
okay,
All right? So that I'm trying to compare apples to apples.
okay.
Make sense?
Yep.
And so you'll notice these are all, here shows the square footage, and you'll notice, you don't have your glasses, you'll notice this one is, the smallest one is 1,540, and
Okay.
the other 3 are all the same 1,760 square feet. So they're all,
But is that one a 2-bedroom?
these are all 3-bedroom, 2 baths,
Okay,
2.5 baths, excuse me.
okay,
This shows the days on the market, and these are the active ones. You notice this one's been on the market for 69 days.
well, that's a long time. I don't
That's-
have that much time.
You want to be gone before that, right?
Yes,
And so this is what we call fantasy land. These are what homeowners would like to get. Here's the reality. Here's the real world. Here's the ones that
Okay.
have actually sold. And there's 6 of them that have sold.
okay. How long ago did these sell, though?
These have all sold within the last 6 months.
Okay,
9 months, excuse me.
Okay.
And so you'll notice that they have all sold and again, this one's on double R. It's not in the same complex as
yeah, I
yours.
know that complex. It's
Yeah.
not very nice.
But they're interesting enough, there is 3 of them that are right here on Dark Horse Road.
Oh, yeah.
And here shows the list price, and here shows the actual price. What'd this one sell for?
I can't see.
525.
Okay, 525 and 550, 549.
Yeah.
Yeah, but are these on the wetlands?
So what I did is I printed out the actual details of all these.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah. And this one was on the market for 43 days. What I wrote here was terrible photos. When I went and looked at the MLS, I don't know if the agent took the photos himself or whatever, but they were terrible photos. And
Yeah,
so,
those are terrible photos.
and so that probably is the reason that it was on the market for 43 days.
Okay.
They listed it for $525 and it sold for $525.
Well, that's good for them.
This one, again, was 1,654 square feet. This one sold in 15 days.
But is this one, are they on the wetlands?
I don't know that I would have done that research, so.
Oh, because that's
yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah, and so this one was listed,
Oh, and this was cash too.
yeah, probably one of those California people, you know.
Gotta love them.
This one was listed at $535 and it sold for $525.
Well, cash, I'd probably take that too.
Cool. And so there's one more here. And this one had a bigger backyard and it was all bricked in nice and whatever. This one was listed at $549 and it sold for $549 and it also sold for cash.
Those Californians.
And it sold in 6 days.
Whoa, see? That's probably on the wetlands like mine is.
Yeah. And so based on these comps, this one probably being the best on the wetlands, sold in 6 days and it sold for $549. Had a nice bricked in backyard. I looked at the picture, it looked like a nice property. What price do you think we need to price your home at to create value in the eyes of the buyer?
Well, I don't know, 550 is a lot lower than my 600,000.
Mm-hmm.
But it sold in 6 days and that would be awesome, but I'm not willing to go to 550.
And so specifically, why do you feel your home is worth $50,000 more than this home?
Well, because I'm on the wetlands and I have upgrades and I can't tell from these pictures, but this one doesn't look like it has the upgrades I have, so
What
you know,
specifically upgrades do you have? Because when I looked at that, it looked like it had pretty much the
they all
upgrades.
look the same. I just feel like mine's more upgraded than this one.
Okay. Would you be specific about what upgrades you put in yours?
Yeah, I have backsplash. I did the double upgraded sinks. I did the rain shower glass in the shower in the master. I did flooring in the laminate flooring in the bottom. I've done the original upgrades. I had upgraded carpet and padding put in. So.
I mean, your home shows beautifully.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
It really does.
Yeah.
If I was in the market, I would consider buying your property.
Are you from California? Do you have cash?
So again, looking at this one that sold for $549, what price do you think we need to put on yours in order to create value in the eyes of the buyer so that we can get you to Arizona in a timely fashion?
I don't know. I didn't really think I would have to go to 550 because I was at 600 and then I really didn't want to go below 590 or 585.
So what I did is I took the liberty of creating a couple of net sheets here for you.
Okay.
And I forgot to put the net sheets in here. But here's a net sheet, and I'm going to go over these costs with you.
Okay.
Here's for title insurance, your escrow fees, county transfer fees, doc stamps. Here's for a home warranty. Here's the real estate compensation. Here's for a transaction fee. You add all those things up, and including the $195 that you owe on your property. And so let me just take a moment to quickly add this up here. So looking at adding all these costs together, Aaron, it looks like if we sold your home today, we could net you, walking out the door, about $340,000.
Well, I like that price, but what would I have to list it at to do that?
Is $340 enough to get you there?
It would be.
Be happy.
I'd be happier with more, but
Of course.
Yeah.
If it was 500, of course.
yeah.
So at 340, seeing you're at the wetlands and that, we'd have to list your home at 575.
Wow, I feel like that's really low. But I do like the net of the 340.
So it doesn't make any difference what you ask. The most important thing is how much you're going to get when we run you out of town, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I never looked at it like that,
Yeah.
so.
And so if we were closing escrow tomorrow and title company was going to wire $340,000 into your bank account, would that be okay?
It would be okay, but I have a question. All these other fees besides your realtor compensation, am I gonna have to pay those regardless?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know.
Unless you didn't sell.
Oh, well, okay, well, I mean, it's part of the transaction fees, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
well, that's crappy.
yeah. I mean, and the buyers got their costs too.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I've never sold a house, so I
Yeah.
didn't know we had all these fees associated with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, well, that's why I'm here to protect you, to make sure that you understand everything from start to finish.
Well, I feel a lot more confident, like, that you know all this stuff, because there's obviously a lot of stuff I didn't know about.
Sure. So this first form here, Aaron, this is what we call the duties owed form. This says that I have a fiduciary responsibility to look after your best interest, and I'll be representing you as seller. I just need your signature right there.
Okay, so if I sign this, this means you're gonna list my house?
The second page is. This one just says that I'm talking to you as a seller, and I'm going to represent you as seller if we chose to move forward.
Okay,
Okay? So this is, the second page this is the actual listing agreement. And you notice I've highlighted the areas that says that we're going to put your home on the market for $575. My compensation is 3%. With the new way regulations are, the old way used to be always that we just paid 6%. Now, mine compensation is 3%. I would highly recommend that you offered the 3% to the buyer's agent to entice them to come and show your property as well. And again, on your net sheet, I've already included all that.
so what if I chose not to and I could get more money in my pocket?
My belief is, Aaron, truthfully, that you probably will get less money
Why would I get less money?
because agents aren't going to be as motivated to show it. And more importantly, you may not even get to Arizona before the big snowstorms come.
Well, that doesn't sound fun.
No.
Well, what if I paid them 2% instead of 3%?
You could do that. That 1% difference is like $5,700. That's a lot of money.
It is.
Yeah. My personal belief is that by offering, because see, there's a lot of people that are thinking, oh, I'll just offer less. And what happens when, the average agent only gets paid a couple times a year. And so when they see that they're getting 3% compensation, they'll go out of their way to show it. You know, they call me and say, ask what's the compensation. And when we write them, they write a lower offer. And when we write a counter offer to get them the $340,000 we're attempting to get, they'll go back to their buyer and say, I think you should take this. And they're really thinking about their compensation, which they shouldn't be doing, but that happens all the time. And so
Interesting.
they
Okay.
become like our ally.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm willing to do that.
Okay, so I've initialed it here, and I just need your initial there. Okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, thank you so much for listening. Any particular questions that you might have?
I just want to know when you're going to do pictures, and I'm assuming you're going to have a professional photographer
Absolutely.
because you
We
made a
don't,
comment.
we don't want photos
Right.
looking like that other one.
Yeah. So, and then what about showings? Because I have a dog, and like I need to know.
So typically what we do is we go through what we call showtime, where they call a service, and the service will make arrangements, and it's how would you like to have it happen?
Well, I just need to know so that if I'm home, that that I need to know if I need to get my dog out of there or.
How much notice would you want?
Oh, probably an hour would be good.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll tell Showtime that when somebody calls to show it, that they will then call you and say, somebody wants to show it tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and you say, okay, and then you'll know at 4 o'clock you need. And if somebody calls and says, I want to be there in 5 minutes, then it's up to you to say yes or no, but
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
I
Thank you,
really
sir.
appreciate it.
All right.
Okay?